Hello YouTube, it's me, it's Michael B. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and today we've got some big news. Unfortunately, it's not that big home arcade news that everybody's waiting for that keeps getting delayed from New Wave Toys and GRS, but if you're a pinball and arcade fan, boy have I got some news to share with you, as we've got a trifecta of really cool pinball updates, and of course the one and only Atari returning to the arcades very soon. I'm going to tell you more about it right after this. That's right, guys. In today's video, we got a lot of pinball news to share with you. We've got a new machine from American Pinball. Turner Pinball have completely revamped their initial offering, and I think people are going to be pretty happy with it. And accessories are finally here for Foo Fighters, the first game from Jack Danger. On top of that, the big news everybody should be talking about, Atari is teaming with Alan1 and returning to the arcades in the very near future. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel and you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that YouTube jazz. First off, let's get into some pinball news, and for those of you not aware, American Pinball is another pinball publisher. Believe it or not, it's not just Stern in the pinball space. You may remember their last release. I'm a very big fan of it. I got to play it for the first time at the Cleveland Gaming Classic. That is Galactic Tank Force. While it did get ripped on a little bit because of the 3D printed characters in the machine itself plays fantastically. I mean, the light show, the sound, everything was just so fun, and I've had a few opportunities to play it, and I'm just a huge fan. I like American Pinball. One of the things I really like about it is the flipper strength. I would put them probably second to Stern. It's a very enjoyable game to play. But if you look back into the rumors about what American Pinball was going to bring to the table in 2024, it's a little bit grim in the pinball space, as it was identified that American Pinball would be coming right back with another original IP, which is a dirty word, I guess, in the pinball space, as we all expect those multi-million-dollar movie tie-ins that we're used to. Like from Stern, we just saw Jaws, James Bond, Godzilla a while back. That's a good one, by the way. I love that game. You know that. So anyways, for some reason, whatever it is, a original IP doesn't get much love. And we knew that American Pinball's next release was also going to be another original IP. Well, that was just unveiled a couple days ago with the first play coming at Zapcom. So the game was officially unveiled, and it's an interesting one. Barrio's Barbecue Challenge. Whoever had on their bingo card that we were going to get a barbecue pinball machine in 2024, well, congratulations, because you're one of the few. But this actually has a very nice story behind it, because it actually honors famed pinball designer Barry Orsler. This is basically a love letter to him, who passed away recently. So this is his final new design. It's barbecue, hot rods, everything Barry loved. So you can take a look at the table itself. I mean, it's got a very cool design, original IP, story and setting, crafting with the durability of the finest smokers and featuring vibrant animations. Barrio's Barbecue Challenges promise endless entertainment and joy. This game is a tribute not just to Barry's legacy in pinball design, but also to the rich culture of barbecue, making it an essential addition for both pinball enthusiasts and barbecue aficionados. So you can take a look at the play field here. There's a lot of cool shots, but I got something a little bit better than that I'll share with you guys in a bit. I think the big thing here that people are fixating on is there's really only two editions. The Classic Edition, which is coming in at $6,995. So people were getting excited about this, thinking, oh my god, it's a deluxe for $6,995. Don't kid yourself. The Classic Edition is the starting for American Pinballs all along. You go back and take a look at Hot Wheels. That was also $6,995 for the Classic. The big one is the limited edition, coming in at $8,495, coming in at $500 cheaper than a Stern Premium. So, guys, you know, pinball prices are coming down, but not with the classic edition like everybody thinks. So, there's also a thing here where basically proceeds of this are going to Barry's family or something like that. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can learn a little bit more about it. And the cool thing is, this is already out in the open for people to play. You can go check it out at one of these following locations. So if you're near any of these, go check out Barry O's Barbecue Challenge. Like I said, I was a big fan of Galactic Tank Force. I like American Pinball, the way the games play, so I'm excited to finally check this out. What's the probability of one of these coming to the cold, desolate island of Newfoundland for me to try out? About 0%, but when I travel, I'll be looking for Barry O's Barbecue Challenge. Now, thankfully, our buddy P-Dub's Arcade Loft was, in fact, at Zapcom this past weekend and got to check out Barry O's Barbecue Challenge on site. Got to play it himself. He said it's a slower playing game, more reminiscent of EM style games, the way they play in terms of the flow. I don't think he meant that it was actually like an EM table so much as it was just that's how he perceived the gameplay. Anyways, you can take a look at how it plays. I love those pop bumpers up top that are actually, they look like barbecue grills, the old-fashioned, I don't know what you call them, because we don't use them here, charcoal grills. There's a lot of fun stuff to this. I mean, is this a theme that I resonate with? No, I'm not a big barbecue smoker fan. I do watch, you know, Barbecue Challenge on the Food Network, but this is not a theme that super resonates with me, but I'm still excited to play the game. Is this one I'll pick up? Again, like P-Dub said, probably not one I would pick up, but definitely one I would look to play while I'm out. I do find it interesting. We see that screen on the playfield itself. This seems like it's becoming more of a norm in pinball. We saw this with Tilt Bob this past Friday on Super Game Room Dudes. They talked about how that was an element they instituted into his original homebrew table, Elf. It was since used in James Bond's 60th edition. Now it looks like it's something more and more people are going to use with an extra DMD or additional screen on the playfield, which creates a fun new element. Anyways, thank you once again, P-Dub's Arcade Loft, for sharing this video. I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can check out P-Dub's coverage on site at Zapcom of Barry O's Barbecue Challenge. Moving on from there, we've got even more pinball news that just broke today. This is actually really exciting news because it's talking about another new company, one we discussed a little bit on the podcast, Super Game Room Dudes, this past Friday. When Tilt Bob were on, we were talking about the company Turner Pinball and how they were also breaking into the pinball market, but maybe they made some mistakes at their initial showing at the Chicago Pinball Expo. So if you guys remember seeing this pinball machine show up at the Chicago Pinball Expo, you will know that people were kind of ruthless with Turner Pinball and what they had envisioned. It's not that the game itself actually looked bad so much as the machine itself, as it had a more narrow play field. It also had no coin door on the front. One of the things you want to be very careful of when you break into the pinball world is making your machine look really friggin' weird, and this is something they successfully did. So guys, here's a look courtesy of Nap Arcade when this was originally announced. Ninja Eclipse Pinball, the first offering for Turner Pinball. You can see the machine itself and you can see what I'm talking about here. It has a much more narrow playfield, and then on the front, there's no space for a coin door. So right off the bat, anybody looking at this would consider putting this in their home and said, wow, that's a very weird style. The knock on this was that they were actually instituting this whole new delivery mechanism where it was completely coinless and you could do something else, some kind of new delivery method. And the funny thing was, most people went away from it saying, actually, the delivery method is what they should be selling, not the pinball machine at all. People were really against this machine. And I guess Turner Pinball did hear the feedback because today they announced some pretty drastic changes. Turner Pinball did put out an announcement video today talking about the redesigned Ninja Eclipse machine moving away from that front with no coin door. They also talked about another thing people were a little upset about was the price point on the original machine was right up there with a Stern Premium when people were questioning, why am I paying Stern Premium prices for what looks to be a Zizzle pinball machine? So they have actually modified the price as well. The price now is going to be $6,995 on par with a Stern Pro machine, and the first 100 will get all the bells and whistles for the pre-order. Everything after that will be arcade versions and won't come with the additional features. So once again, thanks to Nap Arcade for an updated look at what this machine is going to look like, and congratulations guys, that is more of a traditional pinball machine. I think people could be more excited about this. I mean, it's always going to be hard to come out of the gates with an original IP. We just talked about that with American Pinball. People want, those movie tie-ins, the familiar licenses. They want that in their experience. So hopefully it's a good game, and it certainly didn't help to knock yourself by doing something that was, again, probably not very aesthetically pleasing to pinball enthusiasts. And again, like most people were saying, it looks like a Zizzle pinball. So this is definitely a improvement and a step up. Ninja Eclipse, and again, the new price point is also a big plus, so good thing for Turner Pinball. And now, with the problem with how the cabinet looks, and of course the egregious price point maybe initially, we can focus on exactly what's important, how the machine plays. I remember talking to Cool Toy, who was at the Pinball Expo, and he said it actually played pretty good. So, good luck to Turner Pinball. We want to see everybody succeed. We've seen some new companies pop up this year. We just talked to Tilt Bob. Of course, P-Dubs had a chance to interview Barrels of Fun, who came out of the gate swinging with Labyrinth. Good luck to Turner Pinball as well. And last but not least, there's our buddy Jack Donger, better known as Jack Danger, showing off his first foray into real pinball making. Of course, he did make Jurassic Park Home Edition, but we've got the Foo Fighters pinball machine, and he's showing off all the accessories that you can now buy, including what looks to be a pretty awesome Foobot topper. There it is, going back and forth. Certainly reminds me of the Labyrinth pinball as well. Anyways, we've got that amp tube RGB shooter knob. That's one of the coolest shooter knobs I have seen to date. The side armor is absolutely beautiful. I love that hypercolor type look they've got there. So the accessories are finally here. Also, we've got the mood lighting. If you're a big Foo Fighters fan or you own the machine, I know my buddies Console Kits and B-Kong both do. They're excited about today's announcement. Foo Fighter accessories are here. So guys, let's go through everything here. For $100 and $100 only, you can get your inside art blades for pro models only. Well, it's an interesting choice. I don't know why that is, but here we can take a look at them. There's not being shown there. I think that art blades, believe it or not, are one of the most important mods. I shit on them so much before I actually got my Godzilla art blades, and I realized how important they were. Anyways, for $100, you can get these. Next up is the Foo Fighters side armor, and I talked about this, $250, but man, oh man, this looks incredible. This is supposed to protect the side of your cabinet in the event that there's rubbing on the art from, continued play. I've never bought into buying these before. I didn't really see a point, but maybe I don't play it as much as seasoned professionals or whatever the reason. It's really just an accessory for aesthetics in my mind, and I think this one looks incredible. I love that hypercolor art they've got there for the Foo Fighter art blades. I think that is absolutely beautiful. Maybe people will think it's plain where it's just a line down there, but I think it's pretty cool looking. Next up, we've got the shooter knob. I don't like these. I'm not a big fan of the shooter knobs. To me, I'm always like, I just want to play with the regular ass plunger, but a lot of people really like these. They like tricking out their machines, pimp your pinball machines, I guess. For me, I don't really see the point of this, but I will see the RGB inside this does add another very cool element. So if you want to play with something that looks really cool, not a traditional, plunger, you can go get one of these. Now here's one I'm super excited about, the expression lights for premium models only. I think the expression lights are something that is going to be something that comes on more and more tables as we go forward. It's pretty much a go-to with Jersey Jack, and of course you saw how important it was with Galactic Tank Force. This is something that, you know, huge with Rush people were waiting on forever. It seems like this moved a lot quicker than Rush's accessories, probably because of the way that this sold compared to Rush. But you can get your expression lighting for the cabinets now at $500. Holy shit, that's a lot for lights. Pinball's so expensive. And then last but not least, I know the one that's going to break a lot of people's hearts is $2,000 for the Foo Fighters Pinbot Topper. It does look really cool. I love how the head moves. Very similar, once again, to that Labyrinth Topper that we just talked about a couple minutes ago, where the moving heads, that's a really cool feature. I mean, this looks incredible, but $2,000, that's right up there with Rush. I think Rush's was $2,000 as well. Holy cow, pinball is so freaking expensive. To me, I think the real show stealer on all these accessories is, of course, the Pinbot animated topper. That is so cool. That piece that goes back and forth is going to be such a big tie-in. I think people will really like that. Overall, what do you guys think of the Foo Fighter accessories? And last but not least, probably the news you guys are most excited for here if you are arcade hardcore and you don't really like pinball, is that Atari, the king of the arcades, is moving back into the arcades with a new partnership with Alan1 to bring new Atari Recharge games to arcades nationwide, with the first actual new Atari arcade machine probably showing up in one of these redemption type places, Dave and Buster's, or here in Canada, stuff like the Rec Room, in Q3 of 2024. So I'll leave a link below to the article for Games Press, and I want to remind people, these are not original Atari games, these are the Atari Recharged games. So I'm sure most of us have already been playing the Atari Recharge games on consoles and on PC. I, of course, got a chance to check out Berserk Recharge very recently. Had a very good time doing a live stream playing it with people. I thought this was a really cool take back on the original arcade experience, moving things to the modern era. So I've really enjoyed what they're doing with the Recharge series on consoles. But now Atari is taking that experience to the arcade with their classic games. Here's another one I checked out, did a video for, and that is Gravatar Recharge. So you can play these classic Atari arcade games modernized in widescreen with new graphics, new elements, new sounds, everything, but still trying to keep the original arcade experience. So this new partnership with Atari and Alan1 will see these Recharge games make their way to the arcades. I know there's a couple I'd be very excited to check out in a new arcade cabinet, one of which, of course, is Centipede Recharge. That's one I'm super excited about. Of course, I've played these on consoles, but there's something about playing an Atari game in the arcade very new. So look for this in your Redemption Arcades Q3 2024, Alan1 and Atari teaming up to bring Atari back to the arcades. So anyways, guys, that's all the big boy or real arcade news I have to share with you today. There's a lot going on. I asked BKong recently, I was like, you've so seamlessly transitioned into pinball coverage, and he said, well, man, there's always something going on with pinball, and it's true. I mean, you take a look at it, it's just a normal week, and yet we got huge news with American Pinball releasing Barrio's Barbecue Challenge. Of course, the huge news coming out, Turner Pinball have done a complete 180 and are now making a machine that's more reminiscent of what a real arcade should be. And of course, the Foo Fighters accessory dropping. They're awesome, but they're also awesomely expensive. So guys, let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this pinball news? I know most people here are home arcade people. We're happy just getting an At Games Legends pinball or the ALP 4KP, playing some games through BYOG. But if you do want to venture out into the arcades, try these pinball machines, which ones are you going to be looking for to check out? And if you are one of those people with the pockets deep enough to buy your own pinball machines, is there anything you're thinking about picking up? Either the American Pinball, Barry's Barbecue, is that something you'd be interested in? Or Turner Pinball's Ninja Eclipse? And if you do have a Foo Fighter machine, are you picking up any of the accessories? Also on top of that, we've got the huge news that Atari is going to be returning to the arcades, and while we're all home arcade people, we want to play our arcades there. Well, a lot of us do have kids, and we're probably going to go out to some of these redemption places. Are you excited to possibly check out Centipede Recharge, Missile Command Recharge, Lunar Lander Recharge, Berserk Recharge, all these Atari games? Well, Berserk's really stern, but Atari owns it now. All these classic arcade games in their new form factors with the partnership with Alan1. Anyways, guys, once again, thank you so very much for watching. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time.